What sold on eBay, guys? That's this video right now that you're getting ready to watch. Hi guys, it's Misty and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Misty and I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and occasionally Etsy. Occasionally. This video is my weekly what sold on eBay for the week of January 6th through 12th, 2020. Now, my sales were up, but it had to be up because they were so horrible last week that there was only one way to go. Well, I mean, I guess it could have gotten worse, but luckily it didn't. So my sales were up 74.4% on eBay, which is good. I think that January typically is a pretty good month for me. But again, you have to put the work into it to get the results. And I really have been slacking in that category lately. I've just had a lot going on. I know that's an excuse, but it's the truth. So this is my what sold on eBay for this week. We're going to go ahead and start with the Sellers Hub, and you can see here my total sales for the week on eBay was $491.59. My sales were up 74.4%, which is great because they weren't very good last week, as I said. And you can see I had a pretty steady stream of a week. It looks like between Saturday and Wednesday, and actually Monday, were my best sales day as far as quantity of items that I've sold. So it was a pretty steady week. All right, the first thing is this pair of Cole Haan men's Zeno slip-on brown leather loafers. These were in great condition. I typically only buy shoes that need very, very little cleaning. These were $4.50 at Goodwill, and they sold for $38.25, and the buyer paid shipping. And again, with all of my listings, just kind of keep it short and sweet. Just kind of list the main details on the item. Say that I'm a smoke-free home. I do ship next day. The other pair of shoes that I sold were these Lucky Brand Edmona flats. They were 9.5s. They're this coral lace. They were new without tags. They'd never been worn before. You can see they had the little sticker on the bottom. Well, if it'll let me zoom to that picture, I'm not sure what's going on. There was a sticker on the bottom. Well, I don't know why this isn't loading me. Let me see if I can do it this way. There we go. There's a sticker here on the bottom that has the size, and so they really don't appear that they've really ever been worn. I did say that they were pre-owned because I wasn't 100% sure, and I wanted to didn't want to over-exaggerate the condition with them. I wanted to make sure that the customer knew that they were still considered a pre-owned shoe. Again, short and sweet with the size, that they're gently worn. The size stickers on the bottom of each shoe. They sold for $15. I did do free shipping on these. They did ship in a poly mailer, so shipping was first class. The next item, this is actually an item that was returned to me, and there was a little bit of condition issue with it, so I revised the listing and added that condition picture and there was, on the little strap here, there was a little bit of leather that was kind of coming apart. And listed that in the listing. And this Lucky Brand shoulder bag, hobo bag, these Lucky Brand purses typically do pretty well. I paid $4.50 for it at Goodwill, and it sold for $22.50, and the buyer paid shipping, which is the exact same price that it sold for, I believe so, in the first time it sold. Okay, now we're getting into some vintage clothing. Now this is kind of, this is when I'm shopping for clothing, this is what I'm looking for, are these vintage sweatshirts, t-shirts, that kind of thing. This was a sweatshirt that I actually thought I might keep for myself, but then I changed my mind. It is this vintage Indianapolis Colts. It has the vintage Salem tag in it. It's an extra large 50-50 blend. And it sold for $32.50, and the buyer paid shipping. It did ship in a padded flat rate envelope, and I picked this up at Goodwill for $4.50. The next item is something that I've had for a little while. It's this Halston 3 sweater from the 1980s. It had this really cool puffy shoulders, this red floral motif. It was an acrylic blend, size large. It sold for $38.50. I did do free shipping on this. It was lightweight. It shipped first class, and I paid $4.50 for this at Goodwill as well. The next item is this vintage Elvis Presley I've Been to Graceland t-shirt. It was a 2XL. It was single stitched with the Fruit of the Loom tag. It was in great condition. I just kind of picked it up because you never really see these. It's dated 1992. So I don't know. I've had it for a very long time. I paid $1.99 for it at Goodwill. Sold it for $10. Did do free shipping. It did ship first class. Probably wouldn't buy it again, but I took a chance on it. This shirt, my goodness, I had so many messages and offers on this shirt. This was a vintage 1995 Looney Tunes Tasmanian Devil Wizard. It's a double-sided. It was thrashed, guys. There were holes in this shirt. You can see here it was dated 1995. There were holes in a lot of places in this shirt, and I did make sure that the pictures did include the holes that were in it. It's on this vintage Looney Tunes tag, and it sold for $32.50. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. So yeah, it had some condition issues. There were small holes on the front, back, and sleeves. The collar was a bit faded. I had so many people sending me messages, and I finally did sell it for $32.50. This next item is something else that I had for a very long time. It is this vintage Branson, Missouri, My Kind of Town single stitch t-shirt. You can see here it was dated 1993. It had these just like Western boots on it. Really kind of an ugly t-shirt, but ugly sells a lot of the time. I have this cross-listed on the platforms that I sell on. It did finally sell on eBay for $14. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. This was another shirt that I had a lot of interest on very, very soon. I picked this up at Goodwill for $1.99. It was a vintage Chicago Bulls 1998 six-time champion NBA Finals t-shirt. It was on a vintage Fruit of the Loom tag, and it had Michael Jordan on it. It had Scottie Pippen on it. It had Dennis Rodman on it. This was a really, really cool shirt. It did have a little bit of yellowing on that, and I did put that in the listing. It does have yellowing throughout. There were no holes. It really honestly didn't feel like it had ever been worn or ever been washed. So it did sell for $32.50. I did do free shipping. It shipped first class, and it sold within the next day of me listing it. And then I also sold this vintage Indiana University Crable, Indiana IU crew neck sweatshirt. It was a size extra large. Here is the tag here. These vintage sweatshirts, these collegiate vintage sweatshirts, usually do pretty well for me. This was something that actually I had in my closet, and I wore it every once in a while. I didn't wear it that often, so I thought I would just go ahead and put it online. Sold it for $29.50. Should have charged shipping for this, but I didn't. So it did ship for free. I did fit it in a padded flat rate, but I paid $4.54 at Goodwill. I had it for over a year in my closet, so I'm happy to see it go. All right, the next item I sold was the So Simple needlepoint kit. It was something, I think I got this, I want to say I got it at Goodwill or maybe the bins, but it had never been used. You see, it had all the yarn and the fabric in there. And it was a needlepoint kit that you could turn into a pillow. And it sold for $24.32, and I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. And this is something that I've had for a while, and I thought, I'm not going to mess with the price. I'm going to go ahead and get it listed. And it sold for my full asking price. So you really don't know sometimes. There's always someone that's going to buy something. This was a good sale. This was something that I picked up at Goodwill for, I want to say that I got it for $1.99 or $2.99. It was this Old West Heroes EM4 miniatures. So these were little gaming miniature sets. They're made out of pewter. They had the dice. Brand new in the box. They're made, I believe, in England. The box did show some wear, but all the pieces were there, and I sold it for $43.50. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class, so this was a great sale. The next item is a puzzle that I've had forever. I like to buy puzzles that are brand new and sealed. I won't buy them if they're not sealed. Picked this up for $1.99 at Goodwill. Sold it for $14. And the buyer did pay $7.90 or $7.85 for shipping. The next item is this vintage Americana Railroad beer stein. I don't know if I got this from an auction in a box lot or if I paid 69 cents for it at Goodwill. It's one of the two. But I've had it for a little while, but it did finally sell for $20. I did do free shipping on this. This was kind of one of those things that I was experimenting with free shipping with mugs. If I marked the mugs up a little bit and added free shipping, would that help them sell? And it did work with this one. It did ship priority, so it was $7.85 to ship it out, but there's still profit margin there. I either got it in a box lot with other things that I've sold, or I paid 69 cents for it, or 65 cents for it at Goodwill. And it just had all these vintage railroad logos on it. The next item is a Wachterbach mug. I got this at Goodwill for 69 cents. It did have a little hairline crack in it right there. So the pictures do show that, and it did have a little chip right there. This Wachterbach is a pretty collectible piece, and this is a kind of a rare pattern, and it sold for $9.99, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is something that was on my 5 Things Friday video, is this little teeny tiny New York World's Fair little creamer pitcher souvenir piece from the 1940s. It had World's Fair on one side and it said Mother on the other side. It was in excellent condition, no chips, no flaws on it anywhere. Little crockery stoneware piece. Sold for $20, and I did do free shipping on this. It was teeny tiny. It was only 3.5 inches tall. It did ship first class. And the next item is a Joseph's Original Birthday Girl Angel figurine, the year number 6. I find these at Goodwill, and if I find them and then they don't have any chips or flaws, I will buy them for resale, and they typically sell for about $15 free shipping. I believe I paid 99 cents for it at Goodwill, and they do sell. I'm really not buying them when I see them anymore, unless picking them at a yard sale for, a quarter, 10 cents. But there's not a lot of profit margin there, and I'm just not, I'm trying to keep my profit margins a little bit higher than that. Okay, this next little porcelain bisque doll I got this at a flea market in a big box full of other dolls. I think I paid $20 for the box altogether, and it was in a lithograph bread box. So I made my money back several times in that buy. But this little vintage African American bisque ceramic jointed doll, she's so cute. You can see here she is stamped Japan on the back. She was in great condition, meaning she did have a little bit of paint missing on her belly. And she sold for $22.50, and the buyer paid shipping. She was just a little teeny tiny thing too. Yeah, she was 4.5 inches tall. The next item is this vintage Dreamland Creation squeak toy. He's so cute. Isn't he cute? Look at his little mohawk. He sold for $18. I did do free shipping on this. He did ship first class. He was only 6.5 inches tall. He's a small little guy. But there is a pretty big collector's market for these squeaker toys. Look at his little behind. He's so cute. So I do pick these up when I can get them for a good price to resell. This next item came in my FabFitFun box. It's this little picnic set. I will never use it, so I put it up on eBay and sold it for $15.99. Did do free shipping on it, and it did ship first class. And the plates were plastic. They weren't glass, so it was pretty lightweight. The next 3 things are Christmas items, and Christmas items are still selling for me. The first thing is this 1995 Hallmark keepsake ornament, Baby's First Christmas. It had the light and the sound, and it was brand new in the box. It was never used. Sold it for $15.25, and I did do free shipping on it. It did ship first class. The next item is this Bernard plastic canvas holiday medley ornament kit from 1992. Basically, it was a brand new kit. It's never been opened. It's still sealed in its package, and it made these little plastic ornaments. Sold it for $12.25, and the buyer paid, Oh no, I did do free shipping on this, and I picked this up, I believe, for 99 cents at Goodwill. And the last item is the Scoreham Baby's First Christmas full lead crystal, this Noah's Ark ornament. They did these every year. This one was from 2002. Sold it for $10.50. I did charge shipping on this because it was a little heavier. I did charge $3.50 for shipping. It did still ship first class, but just barely. And so yeah, those were my sales this week. So sales were up. So that's a good thing. On eBay, my sales were $491.59. My sales were up 74.4%, which is awesome. I sold 23 items, and I just showed those to you. On Poshmark, I sold 5 items, which, wow. I mean, really call the press. I sold 5 items on Poshmark. That has been, I don't think it's been a long time since I've sold 5 things in 1 week on Poshmark, but those 5 items made me $55.30. So it wasn't a real big profit margin there. It's like, what, $11 per thing about. So anyway, yes, I still have things on Poshmark. I know. I'm just not listing really a lot of new things on there. What I have on there is what I have on there, and if it sells, yay. But I'm not doing all that sharing and stuff. I'm just not doing it. That's just me. On Mercari, I sold 2 things, and I made $33. So, I mean, same thing with Mercari. I mean, I have been listing, cross-posting to Mercari, but honestly, I've really been focusing on just getting things up on eBay. eBay is where I make the majority of my sales, and I don't know why. I'm just kind of stretching myself thin, trying to post to several different platforms. But out of the 3, Poshmark is probably going to be the one that's just kind of fallen to the wayside, and I will still list on Mercari. Etsy, I know it was my resolution to, start listing things on Etsy, but gosh darn it, it's so hard to list on. I mean, it's not hard to list on Etsy. I just don't like to list on Etsy. They make it so frustrating with all those hashtags. And I don't like that you don't get paid right away. I don't know. It's just not my favorite platform. But I know that selling vintage things, Etsy's a good platform to sell on. I don't care for it. But that's just me. Some people do very, very well on Etsy. I know people that do fantastic on Etsy. They do better on Etsy than they do on eBay. I'm just kind of, I guess, stuck in my old lady ways, and I want to just stick with what I know. And I know eBay, and that's just where I feel comfortable. Anyway, so altogether, the week, I sold $579.89. Now, that doesn't include my cost of goods or my fees and all that kind of stuff, but that's what my sales were, and I sold 30 items. So it was a decent week. This week has been really good too. So hopefully that's going to be a trend that's going to continue. I think people are kind of getting out of I don't have any money, I just bought Christmas, and maybe they're, shopping again. So that's the deal. And I want to say too, I have been selling Christmas ornaments like crazy. As you can see, I've sold a lot, and I've just sold a lot more this week. So if you have Christmas ornaments, don't hold on to them until next holiday season. You list those babies right now because they're selling. And again, they're not going to make huge profit margins, but if you get them in boxes like I typically do when I am thrifting, or if I've gone to an auction, or when I've taken ornaments off of my tree, thought, I'm just going to get rid of that. So I'm selling stuff that I've had on my tree. So list the ornaments. They're still selling. There are diehard Hallmark ornament collectors out there. So make sure that you don't put those to the wayside. Go ahead and get them listed. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, do that and hit the bell notification. You'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.